remember. I'm gonna have to go up a level to get to that wire. I have another container, which I don't remember how to get to. Yeah, like maybe, or maybe it wasn't important that they get exact copies of everyone, but it needed to be something to reboot the world. That's kind of how I interpreted what Nia said, is that like Origin preserved the world, but may not have preserved every individual in the world, but maybe it did. Like maybe the characters, like we were saying like earlier, maybe the characters are kind of amalgams of people who existed in the other world. And they just,
Here we go!
Yeah, that one was not a straightforward one to get.
Okay, buddy. So these will work a bit, right? Funny finding one here, huh?
Yeah, indolins are definitely a question. Again, I said earlier, everyone's a blade. Actually, and that's not true. I don't think we have a swimsuit costume for Teach to see under his clothing, but maybe the indolins are the exception. Oh. There's a plot. You have to go up this side. I don't know why I'm suddenly obsessed with getting this container, but apparently that's what my brain wants me to do, so that's what I'm going to try to get. This way. Does he have a core on his face? Really? Maybe he does. Maybe I just never really can put it.
I am ever your ally.
Maybe? Maybe that's a core? Let's see. Zoom in. Okay. Ah, come on. Come on. Come on. Camera controls. Alright, come on, Teach. Let me see your pretty mug. Don't walk away from me, Teach. Why? Why are you walking away? Alright. Let's see. Every time I get to the angle I want. Alright, that should be a good angle. Zoom out. Maybe? No, I think that's just his hair. I don't see anything that is core crystal-y on his face. Right cheek. Really? I don't know.
I should write this all down.
Maybe? Maybe that's what it... I don't know. I'm not seeing it. Maybe that's just me. He could be. I don't see it. He's definitely got some hair going on there, but I think he's pretty clear. No, he is. That's just hair, I think. So yeah, I don't know that Teach has a core crystal. So behind his hair strand. Okay, let's see if I can get another view of that. I had a pretty good one there. Let's see here. He's definitely hiding it. Oh, look at that. Yes. Okay, I see it now. He does have a little core crystal right there, like right on his thing. So you're right. So he does have a core crystal. It's like this greenish one. So wow, I'd never even noticed that. But yeah, that is definitely a core crystal. I can totally see it now. So there you go. So he is a blade. There you go. Even the indolins are blades. All right, good eye. Never saw that. That's a new information. So yeah, so even indolins got the core crystal thing going on. Well, there goes that. Yeah, it's really weird. Like, why is it there? Like, usually it's heart. Like, that's the whole like story of it. Is it's like right over your heart, or it is literally your heart. Here. So yeah, so there you go. So even the Indolins became blades. There you go. Maybe it's Origin. Maybe Origin's like, well, shoot, I gotta make a person, and so I'm gonna make a person the way that I understand people to be, and that is blades. Very interesting. So yeah, maybe it's the other theory. Maybe it's just there. Oh, that's right. And they are dragon-like, right? That totally makes sense, because like the Indolins are very much like dragons. Right? So, is it even higher up? I gotta go climb even higher. And so like yeah, Indolins are beast blades. You know, like the growly guy. I can't remember his name off the top of my head. Yeah, Jin's got the forehead thing going on. I always thought they just put Jin's core crystal on his head because he's so cerebral, right? His heart is here because he's thinking too much all the time. Good old Jin. All right, maybe I have to like jump out of the office window to get to it. I really want to be on the other side, but this level. Do some parkour. Sure. All right. Well, I'll put a pin in this for later. Not finding this. There is a ladder marked on this side. Maybe there's a ladder over here I've missed. I did drop down. Nope. No love. It is above me. I'll have to figure that out later. I've lost interest. But yeah, Jin's. I mean, I never thought about him being a beast blade. I was just like, well, Jin thinks too much. And that's really what it came down to. Jin is a thinker, and so his core crystal's on his forehead. He thinks about stuff too much. I'm sure there's some parkour for that. Ooh, that's gonna hurt. Okay, so I think I have to go to the cantina to get the next ones. Yeah, I mean, why not? Why not overanalyze? This is, if you love a game, you think about it too much. That's how it is. But no, I never even thought about it, but you're right. Like, beast blades don't necessarily
Can we
have
maybe
core
train?
trusts on their heart. Yeah. I mean, there's definitely these themes about,
Let's catch
I
up
can't
on
remember
stuff.
his name, but yeah, the beast blade that you're required to get the plot one, spear one, how he's like becoming more and more human with each of his rebirths, you know. So it would make sense if this one. Yes, Pipto's would definitely be Uni's mascot. This is massive triceps.
We should talk about this. Group chat first, right?
These two. So this quest, this Doran and Bam Bam, I don't know if you finished Doran and Bam Bam, but there was a similar quest in X where you had a character who wanted to adventure and see the world, and I never finished her quest in my first playthrough. A second playthrough, I went ahead and like, oh, I'm gonna finish her quest, and she becomes playable, which was wild. Like, this quest goes through every area of the game. You're like in the final chapters of the game, and you finish her quest, right? It's an X, right? So there's this lady, and she's like, I want to adventure, and nobody will let me adventure. Get me a gun, get me a knife, I'll go adventure. And you like give her a gun and a knife, and then as you're playing through every area, there's like this side quest to find them, just like with these Bam Bam quests. But when you get to the very end of her quest, she joins as a playable character, and she's actually really good. And you spend the whole game like with this lady who just keeps wandering off and keeps getting in trouble, and you keep bailing her out, and then like, oh yeah, actually she's a playable character. And she's really good. But you get her like in very like near the end of the game. But because it's a Xenoblade game, like you just have to drag her along to like 3 fights, and then she's fully leveled, right? Because of level scaling and stuff. So yeah, it was just like the craziest little thing. I was like wondering if Bam Bam was going to be the next Napon hero when I saw this quest, because I'm like, are they doing it again? Are they doing a quest where you go through the whole game following these 2 idiots around, and then suddenly they're like a powerful hero cast? Unfortunately, no. But it's great. The little developer joy that they gave. Man, I wish I could stream X. Oh man, I can't stream an emulated game. Nintendo would come knocking on my door. I own it. I just can't stream my Wii U. It's just not gonna happen, like we talked about the other day. Anyhow, but yeah, it's fun. I like the Bam Bam quest though. It's funny. Traveling idiots.
Everyone's getting along.
Right, it's one of those branching quests. God, child soldiers here. Like, yeah, the head of your procurement division's a first termer, so basically a child. Like, yeah, her mark is like almost completely red. This is so bad. Like, she just like fell out of the pod, and they're like, by the way, you're running procurement and you better not mess up. People are gonna die. Like, it's gotta be enough. Like, they can wield their weapons, presumably. They have some memory. They know their name, presumably. Like, they come out with some information. Again, there is a spoiler-heavy Ascension quest where you also deal with some of, like, they can speak. They're fully able to speak when they come out of their pods. They're like amnesiacs, right? Like people who they have a self. They have a self. They know who they are, but they don't know, like, specific details about themselves or the world other than they know who they are. It's amnesia. Like, wow. But like, she's still just a kid. Like, this is Even if they had like speech and sense of self and stuff, she's 10. That means like she's just a 10-year-old. Child soldiers. Oh, this game. Sometimes this game.
I hope everyone's getting along.
All right, I think I just give stuff to her. Yeah.
What are we giving them?
Yes. I just have to make sure I don't accidentally give her something that I want to keep. Because last time I was in a quest and I like accidentally gave them my my clovers, my 4-leaf clovers that I was collecting, and I felt so bad. Yeah, more collections. Yeah, okay, we know we just have to go talk to her. Yeah, because the nurse is gonna yell at her, that's why. Most likely. Oh my goodness. Yeah, she has like a completely red mark. She just got off the bus and now she's in the procurement division. Oh my gosh.
No worries, Brunella.
So someone did joke when this game came out that the theme of Nintendo games in 2022 was child soldiers. And it was pretty true. I mean, they had the 3 Hopes came out during 22 as well. And then this game. I don't know if they had any other child soldier themed games, but 2 is enough. I mean, of course, the new Fire Emblem game, it's a Fire Emblem game, so child soldiers there too, because that's the overarching theme of Fire Emblem is let's make teenagers kill each other.
It's already getting dark.
Yeah, that's where you're. I mean, they could prequel it. They could have it. But then again, also, the way that they told the cutscenes for, at least for the Kevis folks, the cutscenes were pretty engrossing. Like, they had a good, 40 minutes of cutscenes where you kind of got a slice of life as trainees and stuff. But, yeah, I know. There's a balance there. Playing as the child is sometimes a problem in these games, even if you have, little child soldiers as part of the story. Uh-oh. Yeah, it's like, so that this lady would be like 18 and this girl is like 10 and they're co-workers. I remember being 18. If I had to work with a 10-year-old, I would not have been a very good coworker. Now the real question is, what is the deal with the Napon? Are they immortal? Like, really? There are some side quests that basically imply that Riku is of indeterminate long age. And they just kind of... Yeah, some schools do have that age range. Yeah, I know. I there's a school in the town I'm in that is like it's like a prep school for people who can afford prep schools. And they do that. They have everything from like, I think it's like 3rd year through 12th year, all in one place, presumably all interacting in some shape or form, but they're not co-workers. They're like, like the 10-year-olds may have reading buddies who are 15, but they're not like, doing group projects together. Though, maybe, I mean, smaller schools did that. I went to a smaller school where they did that a little bit, but that was only through like age 12. They didn't have 18-year-olds in that school. But then there's obvious, like, these Napon Well, Nalpon, you can never know how old an Nalpon is. They have a different sensibility. That sounds rough. Yep. More collection quest. Yeah. 5 to 12. That's a pretty long range. Must have been interesting. That's a pretty wide range. They don't... I don't know. Depends on how they teach. I mean, I'll say that I can get off on a rant on the terrible American education system. But it's terrible. American education system is just genuinely awful. And if they tried to combine that with kind of a long range, it would be even worse. I guess they're just going to eat wolf for the next couple weeks, because that's what I'm giving them. Whereas, you know, different styles, like, again, the school that I went to that was smaller was like similar to the Montessori method when I was a kid. It wasn't officially Montessori, but it was basically Montessori. And it was really good. I mean, it made sense. If they had had the resources to go to, you know, grade 7 or 8, they would have. They just didn't have it. I mean, it was like small class size, small school. It was not affiliated with a church, but it taught out of a church basement, that kind of school. Or an unused church. It wasn't really the basement. It was just the church when the church wasn't in session. But yeah, there was a lot of interclass relationships, and like they had a kind of an invisible line between the older kids and the younger kids, but there was always like somewhat of a connection between them in terms of like cooperative teaching and stuff like that, reading partners and things like that. But I think that that worked because it was a Montessori school and every kid had their own individual track that they were following. So it didn't matter that you spent, you know, a couple, like maybe an hour a week working with a younger kid, because it didn't take you away from your thing and you could like have it. It wouldn't have like, oh, now it's reading time. Everyone go to the reading time room. And you've got, you know, 30 6th graders reading to 33rd graders all at once in one big cacophony. Like, it wasn't like that. It's just like, no, it was like, oh, okay, well, now it's my turn to go to the reading area with the kid that I'm reading with, and we'd go do it, and it would just fit into my day. Yeah, it's all about the Montessori kind of style where every kid has their own motivation. Whereas at least in the States, our schools are like factories. Like, oh, you know, it's math time. Everyone's in a math room, and we're in English time, and everyone is learning English together. And it's very turn crank, very industrial, and it's terrible for the learning process. Whereas, you know, that's just what we have here in the States, unfortunately. It's terrible schools, bad outcomes, and nobody cares. We joke that school's only purpose in the United States is to make good workers. It's not actually about educating anyone. It's just make somebody good at listening to their boss. You know, it doesn't matter that you don't understand why you're learning, you know, polynomials or learning about history events. It's just you gotta learn to do what your boss says, and you get A's if you do what your boss says, so that when you get out of school and have a boss, your boss will tell you to do things, and you'll have that like programming in your brain that you have to do what the boss says. And that makes for good workers that don't challenge any of the existing structures. Sorry, little leftist here. It's kind of terrible. We do what we can as parents, though, to try to deprogram them. So that's why she's leading, is they've lost their actual head. But yeah, I don't know about other countries, though. I know that there are certain good things about the Japanese system, and there's certain terrible things about the Japanese system. They have a little bit of different tiers of schools, and you kind of test through the tiers as you go up. But then that just leads to cram school and stuff, unfortunately, which I think is maybe in some sense worse than what we have in the States, because nobody can learn from a cram school, right? Nobody. I've known so many people who've been in cram schools, and they go to school, and then they go home, and they eat, maybe, and then they go to cram school for another 2 or 3 hours, and they're just like pouring water in a full cup. Like there's nothing. You're working, but you're not actually learning. I don't think people are meant to learn like that. And so, you know, they'll figure it out. But then I look at something like, I watched this live stream for Genshin Impact yesterday. Yeah, so it's the same system that they had when I was a kid. Right. So you get in tracks, right? Like, oh, you did bad, so now you're in the vocational track. Good luck, you know, you're gonna be a garbage man, and that's all you'll ever be. No, hopefully not. Hopefully it's not that bad. But that's how it was portrayed to us back when I was learning about German schools when I was a kid. Whereas in Japan, they have that, but there's different points where you can change tracks, right? So you'll get to a certain point, and then you'll tap. There are a lot of tests, and you'll get tested into a different track, and then you'll be there for a little while. But that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be in the track for the rest of your career. Maybe you're a late bloomer. You can sometimes test out of that track into a different school, a different area. Sometimes you'll be on a bus, or train. Be trained to get there, but you can do a little bit of zigzaggy. But yeah, it's still kind of that way. Whereas in the States, no, we don't have anything at all like that. You go to school. Maybe there's a track. There's definitely tracks inside the school. There's the I want to graduate tract, and you're gonna go get a wage job, and you've got like the college focused track, and maybe you have the international baccalaureate track. If you're lucky, you can get into the international baccalaureate program, and then you just take those. But you're still in the same school. You're still with the same people, and you're still dealing with the same stuff. But you're just taking a different class. I even saw there's one school where they literally gave different tests and homework to kids in the same classroom, and they would earn honors credit for doing that. It was asinine. Like, but it's the same teacher. How do you expect them to get better results? And it's like this whole concept that they think that some kid is somehow like smarter than other kids, which I don't believe in. It's really just about aptitudes and stuff. But yeah, I've seen that behind too. But yeah, it's and I understand the desire to have tracks from a administrative perspective, but I just think it's so cruel to, like, I'm a late bloomer. I graduated top of my class in college, but I didn't read until 3rd grade. Like everybody gets there. If I had been in a country where they gave me a test as a 4th grader to determine my track, I would literally be a garbage man right now, because I couldn't read very good in 4th grade. But by the time I, was in college, I was literally top of my class. So, you never know how somebody's going to be judging from when they're a child. You just never know. So, yeah, whatever. Hopefully there's still opportunities out there. At least we don't have to fight in endless wars. Oh, wait. Doran. Bam Bam and Doran. Here we go. Yet, exactly. Yeah, you got it. You got me. Yet.
I hope everyone's getting along.
Yeah, unfortunately. Okay, so was I searching for a container on a higher level when it was really been right here this whole time? And when I was chasing on the top level, yeah, it's this one.
Okay, buddy. Funny finding one here, huh?
Yeah, funny finding that. Yeah, I had no idea it was like on that level, because I feel like such a doof. You did the same thing. Because yeah, you're like in your head like, oh, it must be in the higher and higher platforms, right? And it doesn't give you a height indicator. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Let's do this. Is it in here? Yeah. Talk to Maxie. One thing I miss in this game is they only had two colony themes. I did wish that they would have a unique theme song for each colony. Maybe that's just me. But like in other games, you know, they had fewer locations, but you had like a unique feel and a unique you know, soundscape for each location, whereas that's not the case in this game. It's like, yep, this is the theme for colonies. It's a good colony theme. Yeah, like yeah, exactly. Town themes in Pokemon were such an amazing thing, and it was actually kind of early, and some of the town themes were just truly bangers, even in the original Pokemon. But this one, they're like, no, we're gonna cut that. We're gonna focus more on the sound for other parts of the game. But it's all right. And they do that in like in Genshin. I'll go back to the other game I'm playing. Like they have, I think, so Genshin Impact's been out for a little over 2 years. I think they have over 500 tracks for Genshin Impact. They don't just have town themes. They have day-night themes for sub-areas of the regions you're exploring. You can get into a situation where you're walking through a mountain path and you come out and then the theme music changes, and then you go a little bit further and the theme music changes again, because you're like they've got this huge grid system of themes, and each of the themes is like a good 2 minutes sometimes on a loop. And so yeah, that's what I love. And that's another way that, you know, I see that the games like Genshin are learning from the Xenoblade series, is because the Xenoblade theory is well known for its music. Like they put a lot of effort into the quality of the music, and like that every area has a theme. Man, lots of to do all three of these ones.
I hope everyone's getting along.
Branching quests are branching. All right. I think I have to just. I think this is just to beat up the monsters, though. They just tell us which monsters to go. Yeah, I know, and I don't know. I watched parts of the awards. I didn't watch the whole thing, but like that award ceremony is suited for a particular kind of player, right? Like everybody votes, but like the kind of, I'm just gonna say, like the white male players, they're gonna dominate those awards. They're gonna focus on it. They're gonna organize. They're gonna get themselves a win. I mean, like I think it was God of War that won the theme music in this time around. And I'm not gonna say God of War had bad music, because it didn't have bad music, but it nothing compared to the music in this game, where the music is literally part of the plot, and they created music based on like the flute music that you hear. You probably know this already, but the flute music you hear is from a flute that is a scale replica of what you see in game. And those two flutes that Mio and Noah have exist in the real world, and they're actually what's being played, and you can go see them. They're in a glass case somewhere now, I think, or maybe they gave them to I think they actually ended up giving the flutes to the artists who play it as a gift at the end of the production. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure they gave the flutes to the artists playing it. And how can you compare that to God of War? Like, how is that even in the same universe as the music of God of War? Like, how? And you know, Genshin was in the music category too. Genshin music, they got 500 tracks fully orchestrated with both traditional Chinese instruments, a full orchestra, and to add to that, they have traditional Middle Eastern instruments. They have rock and roll. They have a full band of like electric bass and electric guitar, and they're all weaving together these music from, you know, all across the world, in some sense, all across time. And they're like, yeah, well, it's a gotcha game, so nobody who voted for this actually played it, so they wouldn't know. God of War, epic orchestral music, you know, generic video game music as far as I'm concerned. Good, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that God of War has bad music, but like, come on. Like, not even in the same category as what they did for these other two games. Yet, you know, those Game Awards, they're tuned to a particular clientele. Whatever. They'll be the winner in my hearts forever. And when I voted, I definitely voted. Playing two of the nominees, I had to choose my favorite. Of course I chose Xenoblade, because there's no way. There's no comparison. There may be less music in Xenoblade 3, but Xenoblade 3 was almost about the music. Well, is like it's such a part of it. But anyhow, Game Awards, where they are. Yes. Yeah, Elden Ring. You know, it's funny when Elden Ring came out around the same time as Xenoblade. I remember getting into, like, you know, arguments on Twitter and stuff about how Elden Ring was a shoe-in for Game of the Year, and I'm like, yeah, and Xenoblade 3 would have had their year if it hadn't been for Elden Ring. Like, Elden Ring stole the show because it was such a popular game and so amazing. Haven't played Elden Ring, but again, I've given my thoughts on Dark Souls games. I'm gonna take a break from that kind of game because maybe I just don't have the sensibilities for being achieving at it, because they're not made to be perfected. They're made to be played multiple times, multiple builds, that kind of stuff. Yeah, not my bit. But also, I've seen it though. I've watched streamers play it, and it is an amazing looking and amazing playing game. Like, I can see why somebody who voted for Elden Ring wouldn't have voted for this, because I like this, but there's a, again, different world. Elden Ring, like, you're walking around in an apocalyptic wasteland. You're walking through swamps, and just like all the details that were in Elden Ring. Just a different experience than a Xenoblade game will ever give you, right? Just completely different. But you're right. I'm the same way. I have to limit myself. I can't. I mean, I was watching one of my favorite streamers play Bloodborne the other night. Cheebs was playing Bloodborne, and I'm like, oh, this makes me want to play Bloodborne. It's such a beautiful world and it's interesting, but I would go nuts. I would get. I mean, I'll tell you this: like, when I was playing the original Dark Souls, I wasn't getting enough sleep. I was driving in my car and micro sleeping and seeing zombies coming toward me as I was driving my car, because it was getting, I got so like obsessed with like getting better at the game and stuff. So that was when I'm like, yeah, I can't handle this. It was super dangerous. Yeah, it was terrifyingly dangerous. You are 100% correct. That was bad, very bad. And I think actually that was the part where I marked the end of my first playthrough of Dark Souls. Like, I think I'm gonna call it here. This has gone too far. Yeah, Dark Souls games. They're good. They're good. They're just not good for me. And I can say that about a lot of games. Like, a game can be good, but not good for me. And that's how I feel about Dark Souls games and Soulsborne games. Even though I want to, and even though I mean, I said first playthrough of Dark Souls. There was a second. When it came out for Switch, I went ahead and bought it again and tried to play through it again. A little more self-control, and then ended up, actually, I think that's when I switched back to Xenoblade 2, was after that one, so. Alright. And these guys are gonna die so fast, we're not even gonna see them. I guess I should have done this quest hours of gameplay ago. Wow, I didn't realize Senna could do backflips on her quick moves. Oh. It's a good question. So that's a very good question. So there's one issue other than the gamepad issue. So first of all, the gamepad is completely integrated into the game. Like of all the Wii U games, it was probably the best at integrating in the gamepad to the game experience. So it was mostly resource management. It was mostly mapping. I mean, you could put up a mini map and kind of make it work, and you have definitely have more pixels to work with on a Switch than you had with the Wii U. But there were definitely aspects of, so like the way it works in X is that the if you have never played the Wii U pad is not just like gameplay. You can play it on the Wii U pad, but it's this grid, and as you're exploring their world, you're moving around on the grid, and there's like points of interest, and there's all these other things going on, and it's very much, again, ludonarrative harmony. You feel like you're the character, occasionally picking out their little iPad thing and looking at where they at and trying to figure out what the objectives are for the area. And it is very difficult to play without that. Again, playing on the emulator, I had to have a second monitor. I had to have that experience of having a different interface that I interacted with. It was a touch screen, so I could do the things I needed to do. If they want to remake the story, they're going to have to solve that problem, where Xenoblade X was as much a tech demo as it was a game. It was a this is how you make a game that uses the Wii U's gimmick. That's what Xenoblade X was. And so now they did that for Skyward Sword. So it's not like it's impossible. Like Skyward Sword, when they released it for Switch, they just like, oh, just use the analog stick for the sword. It's fine. Like, yeah, Skyward Sword was a tech demo for the Wii Motion Plus, and you know, for what it's worth, it didn't really like work as well as we'd hoped. And so they just like, oh, just use the analog switch to swing your sword. It'll be fine. And it worked out fine. And they could try to do that. They could figure out a way to do that for X when they do if they do that. And I don't, you know, it would be really shocking if they didn't try, because again, Future Connected and the remaster of X of original Xenoblade Chronicles was crucial for the foundation of this game. Like Xenoblade 3 needed Future Connected. It needed the remaster, the definitive edition, whatever they call it. Absolutely necessary. So they'll have to, and I honestly think that that's part of the reason that they don't talk about Xenoblade 2 and X2, because everyone will realize, oh, that means they're going to probably port X back to the Switch, right? And they're like, well, we don't want to commit to that. That might not be something we can do. But I hope they do. I do. But there's another weird, like, as a fan of the game. So in X2 or in X, there's a bug where essentially, kind of like how fusion arts work, there's left and right side equipment for the skells, for the mechs, right? There was a bug where buffs on one side leaked into the other side, but the just on one piece, so it was a shoulder piece, right? So shoulder buffs, one particular shoulder buff would leak from the right shoulder to the left shoulder, which lets you basically have your left shoulder have 6 buffs instead of 3. Now that may not seem like a big deal, but there was one particular arrangement that basically enabled easy mode, where you could just keep shooting maybe it was not shoulder, it may have been hand weapons, but whatever. Basically, it was the disc gun, and you could get a buff that reduced the amount of damage but increased the number of hits, and then that hits, the number of shots got put into the other hand, but the damage reduction did not. And then you could stack like fuel increase and stuff into the other hand, and so you got all the upsides of the multi-hit with none of the downsides if only shot with your right cannon, and it was more powerful than a super weapon. They will fix that bug. I am certain if they release it, it'll fix that bug, which means that like the whole essence of Skell combat or mech combat will be radically different, because in the original you're just like, oh, I'll just farm the 2 hand cannons and disc cannons and just like easy mode, right? So they'll have to turn that off. Now granted, that's not the only way to play the game, and honestly in my second playthrough of X I didn't even use the Skell very much, but they'll have to fix that bug. Like there's no way. But there's no way they can release with that bug still intact, or they'll have to have some sort of like homage to the bug, because that bug is infamous. Like it just, when you got it down, you're just like, basically imagine like an auto attack that hits 40 times at full damage, right? It was ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. They'll fix it if they release it. So those are the 2 things that are the problem with a port or a remaster of X that goes on Switch. Is first of all, yes, exactly, just like KOTOR 1, right? Like there was like KOTOR 1 had an amazing, I played through the original. I don't know if they fixed any of the like game making or game breaking bugs when they re-released it, but like it's gonna be like that. So yes, so that when they do it, they're gonna have to solve that problem. Yep, and now Doran has run off. Okay. Yeah, I'm sure you are. Yeah. Cell phones. They put cell phones in their video game. But yeah, so they're gonna do it. I hope they do it. I really hope they do it. And honestly, like character-wise, there are some issues in X. They don't handle Nopon as well as they do, or Nopon. They don't call them Nopon. They don't handle Nopon quite as well as they do in the other games. No, you have to be very careful talking about it, but like Nopon are definitely an ethnic stereotype in some of these Xenoblade games, and they're not a positive ethnic stereotype from the real world, and they're just a little anti-Semitic, just a tiny bit, maybe a little more than a tiny bit. They double down on it a little bit in Xenoblade X, and there's some scenes that are a little I don't like it. I don't like how they relate to the Nopon main character. It's not game killing, like here they go, but it will be interesting to see how they handle it. And it in general, players of X are pretty universal that they did Nopon dirty in X. That's just the short answer. And so if they release a new Xenoblade X game, they're going to have to do that. Whereas they fixed it in Chronicles 2, the Nopon are great. They're fun, they're interesting, engaging characters. They're not flanderized, as they say. No, it's not about how they speak. It's literally how they're treated. So I'll tell you what. So in X, in the chapters of X, they have a running gag, like at the beginning of it, where they have a meal together. So like at the beginning of every chapter of X, they have a meal together. And Lynn, one of the main characters, is the chef, and every single one she's tricking the Nopon into basically getting into the pot so she can cook him. That's basically the joke. And it's not funny. It's just, first of all, it's not funny. But then to have it be a running gag that is not funny, of Lynn trying to kill and eat the Nopon character. One of the details. There's also a lot of like the greedy Nopon, right? They're the greedy Nopon side quests. There's a lot of these side quests that just revolve around Nopon being money-grubbing little greedy people, and that's kind of the anti-Semitic tones that are there. So no, it's not really about the speaking, though. It's really just how they treat it. And so from the perspective of being a critical analyst of the media, the way they handled Nopon in X and only in X is super problematic. Like, Chronicles. They're fun. They're on the Earth. They're the guardians of the Bionis. Cool. Okay, that's neat. Oh, that's neat. They're kind of like they got the kind of native culture type thing going on. So that's fine. There was nothing problematic about that. In 2, they were great. They were really fun. Tora's fun. They kind of playing with the whole perverted scientist riff. That's funny. And in this game, they're just amazing. Like they just elevated Napon to the upper echelon characters. But in X, no, they're a bad anti-Semitic stereotype, and also running gags about eating one of the characters. Not funny. Like, and it's not just she jokes about it. She's like lathering the butter on his body. Like, it's bad. But oh well. Yeah, they're gonna have to figure out how they're gonna deal with that, and that's gonna make it hard to port, honestly, because I think that as a world culture, we've moved beyond those jokes. Hopefully, like I think most people have put that kind, especially the anti-Semitism. Like, let's put that in the past. Like, we don't need to treat each other like that anymore. We're kind of growing as a collective society past that. Hopefully, not all Americans, unfortunately, are like that, but at least most of us are. We're kind of moving past the anti-Semitic history of the states. But the bad running gag, like they're just gonna have to change it. They're just gonna have to come up with another gimmick for the chapter transitions. I mean, they just have to, like, they're gonna have to rethink the story to not have that, because it's just not funny. It's just not funny at all to take a sentient character and joke about eating them. Like, who even thought that was funny? But maybe, that was what, 15 years ago. Maybe that was funny 15 years ago. It's just not funny today at all. Like, you would never get away with that joke. Like, that's just crude. So yeah, they're gonna have to deal with that. If they port it, they're gonna have to fix that. They're gonna have to come up with another way. But the whole idea, like, they would just have to, like, yeah, there is actually the emergency food joke. Yeah, and it's not funny, and they've actually stopped telling it. I haven't heard a real emergency food joke since probably in a year. Like, that's not part of the joke anymore. Like, sometimes there's a dialogue option and Paimon's like really upset about it. Yeah, like, this is just not funny. It's just absolutely not funny. It breaks, for me, it breaks the empathy to the characters, right? Like, I want to empathize with the characters, whether they be humanoid characters or otherwise, right? And it just shatters that, and it takes me out of the experience of the game when they do that. Like, oh, okay, I'm no longer engrossed in the story when they do that. Because like, even this silly little quest, like, you kind of start to care about Doran and Bam Bam. They're dudes. They're out gonna do that. But no. But again, Genshin, it was not a one-off. It was a thing for the first year. Like, there was an emergency food joke all the time. We couldn't go 2 weeks without an emergency food joke. But they don't tell those jokes anymore. They've moved past it. So that's something. Oh. Sudden music stop. That was actually really well done. That got me. The music stopped. Like, did something go wrong? Like, oh, it's because of what he said. Okay, got it. Yeah, be careful. Careful as in, we're going to have to fix you. No, you're not going to be invincible. Oh, well. But yeah. But yeah, the you can say it's the same, but when you see the Nampon covered in butter, you're like, okay, no, this has gone way too far. Way too far. So yeah, I mean, and they can fix it. I mean, it wouldn't be hard to fix. Just make it about how the Nampon character is a terrible cook, or maybe the Nampon character is a really good cook, and like Lynn tries to cook it, and the Nampon character comes in and makes it amazing, or something. Like, there are jokes that you can make to keep that same continuity, but in the remaster, that's probably why they've never said that. I mean, they don't port their games. They've already said that before. All it's off. If they're gonna do it, they're gonna do a remaster.
I hope everyone's getting along.
They were voiced, full voiced acted scenes. Like, they were a cutscene. They were fully fully voiced acted, everything. Oh my gosh. No, it was bad. It was so bad. Like absolutely terrible. And it was a bit. They did the bit, and every chapter was, you know, you're gonna have, and you pick the food to cook too. So like you didn't have to actually play it through in a particular order. They was like, how do I feel like eating today? And then they give you a dialogue choice, and you'd select a particular kind of food, and then they would play the cutscene with Lynn trying to cook the Napon character for that particular kind of food that you chose. Again, who thought that was funny? I don't know. Like that was just maybe a mistake. I gotta do more Cresco. Shoot, this is the wrong one. But you know, if they do, I mean, I don't know. Did they re-record the voice lines for Definitive Edition? I don't think they did. I honestly don't remember. I don't even know if I could tell if they recorded them. They may have re-recorded some of the voice lines for Definitive Edition. I don't know if I would be able to tell. So yeah, so maybe they just re-record the voice lines for those pieces of the story. Yeah, they reused them. Yeah. I'm trying to like replay it in my mind, and I'm like, yeah, the voice lines in the original were pretty good. They probably had the original recordings, and so they could just re-render them into the higher bit rate and just make it good. Gotta go to the desert. But yeah, so if Definitive Edition, if they did a Xenoblade X Definitive Edition, most likely, yeah, they would want to reuse all the voice lines. I mean, and the Elmo lines for sure. Like Elmo's voice actress is really, really, really good. There's no reason to say they'd do that, and so they maybe just reshoot those scenes. And you know, it was like, I don't remember how many chapters there were. It was like, let's just say 10 chapters for the sake of argument. So they would have to do 9 little interludes, and they'd come up with a different running gag, and then just move on, right? Not the end of the world. And I guarantee no one would complain. Well, not in the States. I don't know. In the English-speaking world, every forum and every, like on the Reddit and stuff, you're not going to find many fans of the Lynn cooking the Napon side story in X. That was not popular at all. So if they chose to write that out, I think at least English-speaking fans would probably be really okay with it. Hopefully the Japanese and the other locales would see the need to drop that side quest or that side content. Wouldn't be the end of the world. I don't know who Lynn's voice actor was, but they're still around. I'm sure they're probably still doing their work. Now I'm gonna find out. Off stream, I'll do some research and find out if the voice actors for X are all still available. Hopefully they are. Where's it guiding me? Here. Oh, it's in the desert. I gotta get to the desert. I gotta walk to the desert. I don't need to walk there. It's over here. Yeah, but if presuming the voice actors are available, they would just need to record it, or maybe they could just drop it. Like they don't have to have the bit. Like the bit didn't add any value to the story. Like I didn't feel more connected to the characters. I didn't feel like it was cool to see them all having dinner together, but like it was also kind of lame. Like it was just like, okay, they made food, and then they show a dish with the food, and then the dishes, and they're dirty. Like, okay. Like, it's not like they animated them eating, right? Like, it was still a Wii U game, right? So it wasn't a technological marvel. It was essentially just a glorified way to show a picture of some food. So they could just drop it and just make the game without that, and I don't think anyone would miss it. Just like black screen, and they all had a meal together. Lynn made a delicious meal. Done.
Sorry, I don't do restraint.
No letting your guard down.
Even though they're low level, we gotta at least be smart how we fight them.
We can do this.
Okay. Oh, there's even a container back there that I had missed. That's cool. Oh, already broke. Don't even need to do it. Yeah, he's in his cocoon. You have to wait. Man, they're getting through his blocks and still knocking down the ball. Like a curve. Yeah, we may not even get a chain attack out this guy. No, we didn't even get a chain. That's over.
Ready whenever.
This up though, that's nice.
These will work a bit, right? Funny finding one here, huh?
Let's make sure I don't cap on my knock-on coins. One more. But yeah, those things aside, I mean, that's a lot. There's a lot of issues with the remaster of X. But if they can solve the cooking scenes, and if they can, most of the more problematic, the other problematic Nopon content, yeah, that was just text on screen. It was fine. Like no one was gonna care. Like most of those were not voiced scenes. They didn't have like a Noponic hero or anything like that. And the Nopon character wasn't a bad characterization. Like he was actually a pretty cool guy. Like he was a kid. Like he wasn't a very old character. I mean, he couldn't have been more than like 15 in human years, right? So I mean, he did childish things. And honestly, according to the story, Lynn was not that old either. Like Lynn was also in her like 15, 16, more Xenoblade child shoulders, right? Where is this guy? He's over here now. Or do I have to climb? No, I have to climb. He is above me somewhere. Okay. Follow the red line. So Lynn wasn't that old. Like Lynn was not a grown woman who was doing these things. She was a teenager, and she was harassing basically a kid brother kind of thing. So I mean, like, it was okay. But other than that, and you know, the fact that they're gonna have to fix some bugs, and they're gonna have to figure out how they're gonna get around the fact they only have one screen, it could be a good remaster. The story, the elements, the questions about reality, and you know, the nature of humanity's place in the universe, all those things belong, right? Those were good parts of the story. It was a good story, as you would expect from a Xenoblade game. Just needs some edits. Just needs some work. Jeremy's a jerk. Jeremy. This is
what I think it is?
Yeah, this is the bird one.
It just spat something out.
I'll take that. Yum. Try not to think too hard about what I just picked up. Oh, 30 towels. Hi, girl. Do I have to actually get in this way?
I think we
There
gotta
it goes.
leg it.
Okay.
Demon Slayer!
The element of surprise.
I'll draw them. Sometimes brute force is the answer.
I don't think I need her to outbreak her anymore.
All the healing
gonna get chain off on this guy either.
We can do this.
Down he goes.
Right, time to head back.
Why is there a caterpillar fighting me? I don't want to fight a caterpillar. Did you guys just aggro to... Yeah, whatever. I guess I don't need their drops.
We're unstoppable with you around, Senna.
I'm the girl with the gall. Ha! Ha!
I don't think I'm gonna get the drops. I don't think that's a scalable platform. Alright. And I vaguely remember seeing a problem last time.
Something's very wrong.
How's it going?
I fell asleep when you told me to go to sleep at
Good.
like 12, and then I woke up at 2:30, and then I fell back asleep 30 minutes later. And then I woke up at 6, I did a couple things, didn't condense resin, and then fell back asleep, and now it's 4.
Yeah. You should do your own. No, you know.
I almost slept for a whole day.
Yeah, well, as I said, you are still recovering from a minor surgery. You still need to take care of yourself.
I'm not even gonna sleep tonight.
I have no idea.
So I'm gonna lay there and look at the ceiling.
I guess. Or you just have to force yourself awake at 9 o'clock tomorrow and just deal with the consequences.
Yeah, I guess.
School starts Tuesday, right? Tuesday? Hopefully Tuesday? Maybe Monday? Could start Monday for all I really know. So speaking of self-care, I think after this quest is over, I'm going to take a couple hours off. Do some other things. Finish this.
So hungry.
Oh, hungry, I hear you. I hear you, Senna. Yeah, well, it's not a bad... I say minor surgery. Third molars, right?
Or
4 of them.
Mormons are off the walls.
The people you know who are Mormons or just generic people? Wow, you actually didn't hit cap. Congratulations.
The Mormons that I know are just generic people. But
Yes.
the Mormons are off the fucking walls. Mormon Bigfoot?
There's a Mormon big...
Some Mormons believe Cain is Bigfoot.
Really? Well, it did say that he was cursed to walk the earth forever, so... I guess. That's not... Okay. You should take the time and watch the Book of Mormon musical at some point. It's really good.
It's a joke on it.
No, it's not. The thing is about the Book of Mormon is you go into that book, you go into the musical thinking, oh, it's just going to be the Southpark guys making fun of Mormonism, and then about 3/4 of the way you're moved, or maybe halfway through the story, you're like, wait a minute,
You believe this shit?
no, they don't. They take you somewhere that you don't expect to go. It isn't. Let's make fun. Let's rag on the Mormons because there is that. Okay, fine. Yeah, you take care of yourself. Talk about Book of Mormon a bit. Yeah, so it's third molars, wisdom teeth. Kid's healing up really fast, but like he's a musician. He can't play his instrument for like another week because he plays reeded instruments, clarinet, saxophone, stuff like that. So he's bummed about that. But I just want him to heal up as fast as he can. See how he goes. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. But he's healing really fast. But, you know, still, he's got to take care of himself. He's got to flush it out and keep it healthy. But yeah, so he'll be bouncing off the walls like he was last night, like you saw him last night. And then, like I said, he slept till 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Oops.
I hope everyone's
That's
getting
not
along.
gonna be fun. Yeah, I was lucky enough to see a stage performance of Book of Mormon. Again, I'm not a religious person, but let me say that. Let me correct that. I am an anti-religious person, but the Book of Mormon was very funny and actually did present a, you know, if it's not hurting anybody, it's probably fine, but it needs to not hurt anybody. That's the important thing. Oh no, somebody's down. Remember this one. Oh, he's alive. Oh no, his friends aren't. many side quests I have to deal with here. But yeah, it's a very interesting and touching story, and it's not what I expected from the South Park guys.
So the way I slept might be scary.
Oh,
My blanket was across the room, so was my phone. Both of my earrings fell out.
really? You were just like a whirling dervish, just tossing everything in every direction.
The phone is now at 31% because it wasn't charged at all.
Yeah. But yeah, so it's Book of Mormon. It does not go where you think it does. It takes a genuine look at the harm and good of religion. Let's just say that.
So people being serious?
Yeah, it's a serious movie. It's also about AIDS and about colonialism and about, how we raise our children and the beliefs that we give them and what it means to have a belief. It's really a story about what is the nature of belief, and
Okay.
it's good. It's very good. It's worth your time. It's also just amazing musical. Mormons are the chat. Mormons are a sect of Christianity that came about in, when was it? Probably 1800s here in the U.S. They're primarily a U.S. Religion. They believe in an extra Bible. So they're like Christian plus. And I mean, undeniably, the guy who started Mormonism was a con man. Like 100%. It's like the most American religion ever, because it's like this guy wanted to marry lots of women, and so he came up with a religion that said it was okay to do that. They don't do the polyamory stuff anymore, but well, most of them don't. And so it's like Christianity plus, and they have all these really wild, like, Native Americans are actually Jewish, but not really, and like there's some people who believe that Bigfoot is Cain from the Cain and Abel story. Shouldn't laugh. It's so offensive. But that all said, they have a very interesting, very you could call them one of the most modern sects of Christianity. And it's in the Book of Mormon, they make the joke that it's so modern, it incorporates Star Wars into their theology, because that's how wild they are. Right now, they don't actually incorporate Star Wars into their theology, but it might as well. And they believe that God is a person who did awesome stuff and was given a planet where he makes spiritual babies, which are born on Earth. And if you're an awesome human, you get to have a planet too. That's literally what they do believe. And that Jesus and the devil are two of God's children, and they were in a fight over what humans should do, and Jesus was like, I want people to be good, and the devil's like, oh no, but I want them to be bad. And this is it's a wild book. Very American religion. And yeah, the nice thing about the Book of Mormon is it doesn't judge. It's like, okay, this is what they believe, but okay, but they also believe in being nice to people, and they believe in feeding people who are hungry, and they believe in housing, and they believe in trying to be a good person on Earth, genuinely be good. So not all of them are like that, but that's what the religion teaches. And so the world needs more people who are trying to be good people. So you tolerate it. You tolerate their goofy other beliefs because they want to be good.
Yes, they're Christians. They might be the best sect, though.
They're definitely the newest. They are technically Christian, but they're Christian in, again, they're Christian plus, right? They're Christians, but
My face is getting devoured by the green screen.
Yeah, I see that. It's too much light out here.
Wait a minute.
It's no different. Yeah, again, another one of the points. Yeah, I know.
9 Inch Nails goes both ways.
Yeah, it does. That's the joke. Remember the 9 Inch Nails symbol came before the name. But yeah, mythology is mythology. Maybe mythology's purpose is to keep people on the straight and narrow, to inspire people to be better, even if it doesn't have to be true for it to be valuable. And people who can understand that things can be valuable without being objectively true, then it's healthy. And I think that a lot of the problems come from people who get confused and think that just because something's helpful doesn't mean it needs to be true. There doesn't need to be a literal Noah's Ark. It doesn't have to be literal if it means that it inspires you to do good things. That's why I have video games. I don't need religion.
Go watch Naruto. You'll learn a lot.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of media that serves the same purpose, you know? We're in like a serious thing. Side quests. Some side quests are engaging, some are not. After this random person. Then again, my kid's 16, and I am in a constant battle to keep my kid from becoming intolerant and to becoming falling into the traps of being really judgmental about groups of people. Like, Mormons are crazy. No. There are funny beliefs in the Mormon religion. But, you know, Mormons try their hardest to be good people too. Most of them do. Not all of them. I wouldn't give the leadership that credit, but you know, your average person who believes in a religion is probably just a good person trying to be a good person. And that's how I like to take it. All right, I have to go to Murmur Rise. I think that's not good. He's so... I every day. Keeping him on the straight and narrow. That's what you got to do as a parent. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's in a different area. Is it in this area? Yeah, I think it's one of the most important jobs of a parent, of a teenager, is to keep them from becoming radicalized. Like, whether it be Nazism, whether it be, you know, like extreme, like Stalinist type communism, that's another thing, you know, authoritarian right wing. It's like, there's just this like need for community and this need for meaning in the world when you're 16 years old, and sometimes that meaning comes from being radicalized. And, you know, I'm lucky my daughter, she got through that stage pretty easily, but like, we both worry about my youngest getting radicalized in the next, you know, 5 or 6 years, especially because I'm in a very conservative area, like super conservative. And that being around all these conservative folks, I either worry that he's going to go straight into get into their clutches, so to speak, and become, you know, get absorbed in the neo-Nazism that's around me, or the other hand, go sweep to the whole side and just think that everybody's awful. And keeping him on that middle way is, you know, one of the most important jobs as a parent of a teenager. But they do mellow out. Usually they mellow out. Usually people mellow out when they get older. But it'd be better if he didn't get wrapped up in that stuff. It would really be good if he didn't. Nope. They didn't leave anything. Oh gosh, it's this guy. So this is part 2. And I think there's one more part of this side quest that I can do at this chapter. Mysterious Raider side quest. I have to do this one before that one will appear. I think that one was in one of the... I don't remember where it was. I think it's near the battle where Ethel fell. I think we have to backtrack to there now that I've done this quest for that one too. The most missable hero for sure. Absolutely the most missable hero. Because it's a sequence here, right? You gotta do this one, which you have to unlock because of other stuff. Did I get this one? Let's go hit hard. Too late. Brain was in the They don't even do drops, they just drop to the ground. God, you don't never get through this part of this crap. I don't know. I'm gonna bother to chain this guy. I don't know if I will. I am not gonna bother to chain this guy. I'll drop it. There you go. Oh, his clock is almost really low. All right, super mode.
I'll draw them.
You didn't disappoint. Come on now.
Give it up. Let me give you a taste.
You have any plans for today, kid? Off in the Get that door so the cat doesn't get in there.
Noah, would you mind?
Every note you see played is the note that the musician playing the track was playing. Every subtle movement. Yeah. That's all of the Colony 4 quests. Fingers crossed. Let's find out. And then probably should take a break for a bit. Uh, we're almost
stomach's
at 6
growling.
hours. Yeah, I'm gonna have to wrap. Let me just make sure. Actually, no, I think I'm gonna wrap up. All right, I think this is the right time. Body. Wrap up. Well, thanks for coming back and chatting. It's more appreciated having me in my stream. I'm going to save.
Can't forget our
A little
progress
bit.
update.
Okay, I'll no longer be able to see follower count. So I make this first full screen. Ding ding. Box. Now I'm gonna get obsessed. Yes, it is unmuted. Good. Video. Scenes. Sweet. Let's get back into this. That's not the correct controller. All right. Okay.
The weapons you get from defeating the divine beasts.
Yep.
Are I don't like cool. I don't need this thing.
They
afterwards.
have high durability. That is one of
There's one divine beast weapon that is genuinely better than any other option.
Oh, which one's that?
The one you get for beating Varudani.
Yeah.
That one's
How does
genuinely.
this go quickly?
Yeah.
It's a Talos killer, and its ridiculous durability makes it great for mining. It's worth the diamond to recreate.
it.
But I'm only using it to kill Lionels. Because it doesn't use any durability when you kill Lionels.
It was like that one's really good.
But like I'm contemplating dropping the spear. Or
You don't? Have you gotten the shrine that you need the spear to use?
there's a shrine where I need the spear to use.
There's a shrine you have to use the spear to get.
I don't like
Don't drop the spear until you get the shrine that requires it. And then go hang it up in your house. Don't drop it. What? Build the house so you can put the spear in it. Because that's what everyone else does. Because you should build a house.
what is this, Minecraft?
Yeah. Link needs his house.
This video.
I don't understand anything that's going on.
Look how she's holding the
I know.
fucking pot.
It's not something new to me. They are useful.
It's just funny to me. Well, the rest of the video is a person going, "Wait, no."
Yeah. Yeah. You can do that. So anyhow. But yeah, don't drop the spear. At least not until you get this. There's a shrine where you have to use it to get in. Once you get in, I guess you don't need the spear anymore. I was telling Wildnet about the quest in Xenoblade where Xenoblade X, where the equivalent quest with the idiots here
Yeah.
leads to a playable character.
Yeah.
Like, wait, what? It does?
I hope everyone's getting along.
Okay, this one's gonna be tough.
Hey, that's not your everyday jump.
This is something decent, right?
Grape startup noise followed by the Wilhelm
Give me
scream.
some
Right.
of that sweet ether.
So. Box. Be nice, Kyle. Oh. Such idiots.
I'll draw them.
They're set up for a fall. Wait for colors in the back. I can handle this one.
Good going, Uni.
Deal, Hosea!
Fire them. Push through.
Brian is like dumb, and I'm like, I'm not doing it.
This is the it's
How to do
it's
it.
the
How to do it.
it's the hey, you can take screenshots shrine. That's what it is.
The answer for me is no. You're looking at a guide.
That's fine too. All this guide's gonna do is show you screenshots.
What?
I hope
It's the
everyone's
great.
getting
This
along.
guide's just gonna show you the screenshots. That,
Screenshots they probably got from fucking Split Share.
yeah, probably.
Probably used Split Share to pop the screenshots out of their Switch.
And then put it in their guides. Like
And
that's how you do it.
Guide. Didn't even take a video. Didn't even use a capture card. Just
Nope. Just
Took a
just
screenshot.
shared it to Twitter and downloaded it.
have a guide from Twitter.
Yeah,
Somebody literally just uploaded the photos
from the game.
from the game.
Yeah, well, it's fine. No shame at all. I don't think there's anything wrong with looking at somebody else's screenshot. Fine. Yes, there is a chest in that one. It's on one of the edges. You have to like Well, I can say this. There's always a chest. There's at least one chest in every shrine.
Yeah.
Without fail. I think I actually need to do plot again.
I like the one shrine where you have to count the number of balls, and then once you successfully count the number of balls, all of the balls pour out of the big orb you were counting, and then you have to use the metal balls that fall out to solve a second puzzle to get the chest.
We really walked a bit, huh?
Was in the DLC, if I'm not mistaken. But yes, I think that
No,
one.
it's a main.
Oh, it's a main one?
It's a main one.
Okay. I did all the shrines twice, so go to this one.
It was very fun.
It is fun. I think there's a manta ray boss that I can fight in the capitals. I might do that. I'm feeling good today. It's a good day. Just related event. Oh, there it is. I think it's the idiots again. Yep, it is. Gorin and Bam Bam. Strike again.
Disturbing.
Yeah, because all he wants to do is eat meat. So yeah, I learned about rabbit poisoning yesterday. Do you know what rabbit poisoning is?
What?
When you only eat lean meat, your body gets overwhelmed by the nitrates that are contained in the meat, and you get sick and die.
Oops.
You could, if you were to like literally just live off salmon, you get sick and die. Rabbit is another one.
So, but you can balance that out with not eating meat or eating fatty meat,
right? Or vegetables, grains. You can't have all of that.
It's like you can probably balance it out with a healthy helping of your favorite vegetable. You know?
Right. Or it doesn't even have to be favorite vegetable. It could just be pasta.
Yeah.
Right. It doesn't even have to be like healthy food. But if you were to try to live...
Carbs are really good for canceling literally anything out.
Well, it's not as much canceling out. It's just that the calories you need just to live exceed the calories that you could get from lean meat before you hit the threshold of your body's ability to process.
So, what I mean is, carbohydrates are great for diluting literally anything else.
Yeah, exactly. Just
if you ate too much if you're eating too much of a particular nutrient and you consume a bunch of carbohydrates, weird.
What, this?
Yeah.
Sure. Anyhow, but yeah. So rabbit, they call it like rabbit poisoning or lean meat poisoning. Learned about that on Hank's channel. I'm how to cook, of course. No, they're not. I just love when you do their chain attack, and you've probably noticed this, but when you have Riku and Monona in your chain attack, the scene starts with a view of Riku's butt and his little wiggly tail.
I know.
And then they go into it.
Their chain order is so silly.
little wag tail before they get in there. But yeah, if you were to just eat meat, only eat lean meat, the nitrogen your body wouldn't be able to process at all. In balancing of the.
Excuse me.
Yeah, of course. Just happens to be a tree around. Okay. Yes, we're going to eat the tree, Doran. Of course. Such an idiot.
I hope everyone's getting along.
Three. Now we wait. Ingredient has arrived. Off they go. Wrong, oh shoot, I can't heal anybody from the water. Ugh. I guess they're just doing this on their own. Yeah, they're just doing it for me. Autoplay. It's fine. We're low. Juices, man. Best in banana. Now I can jump in the water and pick up this stuff.
This is something decent, right?
Late. It's best not to think about what you eat. Just eat it. Yeah, well, doesn't the party get any? No, they're not considerate. Not how they roll.
I hope everyone's getting
Just
along.
get us to the cap. Nope, still doing fine. It's got an affinity level, that's nice. Okay, any more question marks? We have this. I don't have that yet. That's the Turkic Alliance one. So I believe there is something of interest. Here. Definitely something to do from here.
a rare one. Hey now, what's that? I think we could slide down that thing. Here we go! Are we gonna be all right? This goes here, that goes there. I'm on it. That's the way.
It's spider time.
This one's got character. Shall we tang?
Make sure I have to have Juniper or I can take Juniper out. Oh, I'll just buy it.
Go. I can shine as brightly as anyone. Healing's on the way. Hold on. Healing's on the way. Hold
You know how fast we die.
What's up? Jason Wilson.
And my friend was playing, and I've got 4 more berries and myself. And my ears are like,
Oh, you're gonna sneeze and
Two, 3, 4, 5. Done. That was easy.
yeah.
I have a fear. I need a giant boomerang. I love that they made boomerang one. It's like a normal boomerang.
Yep.
There's a way to do that.
Yeah, there's a big metal one. That's pretty cool. It's got a big old handle on it, so it's kind of a sword. I know.
You can't throw a boomerang like this. You have to point it up against the wind. And you can throw it right.
Demon Slayer! The spark in me gate. I'll have to up another
Really good. Super. We can see here. Let's do Tyon. Do Sun a double heal. I know, right? These cross giggles. It's so funny.
Oh, glad that you do jiggle for the next.
Like, well, he's an attractive person. Give him some jiggle.
Like he has a big penis. He has such a big penis. You gave him a dick.
It's just hung like a horse. Yeah, it's hilarious.
Fuck, this fucking cooling peaks is such a stupid idea.
I think it's a.
These three slides within like I can find.
It's there for a reason. It's there to teach about climbing. It's there to teach about the fact of trying to connect. It's a tutorial area. That's how I see it. It's just a tutorial area. That's all it is. Are they gonna get? Yeah, okay. It's there. You can get a Bronco. You're too short.
Oh yeah.
Interesting. Oh, on the white screen? Yeah.
I have done 62 shots. I don't have to find.
I don't think I'm gonna get the horrible It's so sad. Sadness.
Shield 1 is the first one you gotta do. While we're done, this is the first one.
Yeah.
They expect you to do.
It's very possible.
Tomorrow's Sunday.
That's correct.
Tomorrow is in 2 hours. I didn't think I was gonna make it to the
But I think too long. It's like too long. Oh, just barely get a bubble. Oh my. Go. Ah, no, just over 80. Oh my gosh, we did get the bubble or something. By the skin of our teeth.
I want to go and I'll make this one.
Go. Let's start. Actually, we can also finish with Juniper. No, we're gonna finish with Tyon. A little more damage bonus. Then we'll do both healers. Nice. Almost 350k. Dang. Acquired the class.
What do you think would happen?
Good thing we found this. Okay, buddy. It's funny finding one here, huh?
Right. I guess I can use whatever hero I want. I'll just do Eno. And I think we're gonna have to go to attacker class for him at some point. Right, let's have her jump along exile, and then he can do
Leave the enemies to me.
cursor. She needs to do an attacker as
I'll hit
well.
him, and then I'm gonna
Means
hit him
you're gonna
again.
do cursor as well.
I'll provide the perfect
I
defense.
won't include them. And then you're both learning just fine. Everyone's setup is broken. I don't like this one.
Aerial slash!
I want
Shield
Dash. Keep Soaring
Soaring
Tempest.
Tempest!
And Air Slash. Because that's
Aerial
funny.
slash!
Demolition and Sidewinder. Yep. Okay. Skills. Crit, crit. Crit, 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 crit. And... does he have it? Yeah. Ultimate Kingdom. Gems. We're going to analyze. Yep. Accessories. Detector. And... Ace. And... the one that gets you criticals. Silver. Yep. That is good. Okay. Alright, Smeo. We're gonna do Soaring as well. Demon. White Slash is probably fine. Soaring Tempest, Air Slash, Low Ring, bad. Violent Flurry is not bad.
There's no golf.
Skills. We're gonna go with. How's it going?
It was just like, where's Noah gone off to it when I heard the buzzing?
Yeah.
Do you know of Asian Kung Fu Generation?
Yeah, they're like the Naruto theme song out there, you guys.
Yeah. They're a pretty influential band in the Japanese rock scene, actually.
Yeah, I'm sure they are. They're very popular.
And and it's funny, when I finished the final episode of Bocchi the Rock, I'm like, wow, I recognize the ending theme for this episode.
Mm-hmm.
It's a cover of an Asian Kung Fu Generation
Oh,
song.
interesting.
I'm
That's
like,
cool.
oh, that's kind of sweet, actually.
That is cool.
The reason I feel that K-On! Is an unfair comparison to Bocchi the Rock is, yes, they're both about cute girls playing music,
Mhm.
but K-On! Is about high school.
Mm-hmm. Very much so.
Bocchi the Rock is about the indie rock scene. You know?
Shield bash!
Mm-hmm.
Aerial slash!
And so even though they both feature teenage girls in a band,
Yeah.
they're very different.
Mm-hmm.
Like the first time that the girls in K-On! Actually perform at a venue is through some connection they have. And that's after performing at their school like twice, and it happens in a special between seasons.
Mm-hmm.
Bocchi the Rock, their first performance, happens in one of the characters' older sister's venue.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
like it's different because they're actually about different things.
I don't think he has. He's got this. It's just not as good.
Violent Flurry? It's really good.
Yeah, he's not. Yeah, it's only 30%. It's 40% when you're level 10.
Oh yeah.
That's all.
It's still good art. Hits hard.
Yeah, we'll do Wide Slash. And then... Fine. Gems. Fine. No, not attack. Agility. Accessories.
Oh.
We're gonna do... He's already got memory, so that's fine. Another killer, okay? Emotionals. So, brute. Dude's for.
The things you're talking about is me though.
Yeah,
Still emotionally exhausting to do.
it's gonna be, yeah. That doesn't change. It's gonna be emotional. It's still gonna be hard.
Can't forget our progress update.
It's rough.
On one hand, I can tell from how my nerves feel, I guess would be the best way to explain it, that I need to eat something. It's kind of, wow, I feel a lot less depressed when my blood sugar is higher, kind of feeling, right? And at the same time, I feel full.
I will say that dinner was not successful. I do not feel like I got what I wanted out of that meal. I certainly didn't get what I paid for, I'll say that. It was not a pleasant experience. I should have just made something, I guess, because then at least I would have had hot food instead of the cold food I got. And I reheated it, and reheated is okay, but it's like I literally didn't finish it. It's up there in the refrigerator. I'll reheat it, but it's not the same. Like that melty goodness that you get, it doesn't come back. Like you can't reheat that. It's not the same.
It's just not.
Yeah. So next time we go, if we go again, which we probably will, I will say, all right, I'm getting this to go, but don't wait for our whole order to be done. Give it to us as it comes out. I'll carry it out to the car and the kids can eat it. Please. No. Japanese style. Serve it when it's ready. What?
At the outside tables, but we don't do that at night.
No. So yeah, I'm literally gonna tell them, hey, you bring it as it's hot. Don't you dare have our food sitting there getting cold.
Okay, buddy.
Don't do that ever again.
I think it was just a matter.
No, I think it was a matter of the guy getting almost all of our food done and then just getting distracted. Which, if we were a DoorDash, it wouldn't have mattered because the DoorDash is one thing. It has to do with the fact we're getting takeout. It all has to do with we're being treated like DoorDashers because we wear masks. And yeah, that's the end of it. They're treating us like a DoorDash where they don't care if it's cold, it has to be all together. No, you give us the food as it's made. If you don't have a kitchen that can make all the food at once, okay, then bring it to us as it's there. Don't have our food sitting there getting cold for 20 minutes. It just sat there getting cold. That wasn't a question of them being busy. That was a question of the people working there weren't being considerate.
I would not be surprised if there was a recent company policy that came out and
That's just American food. Americans have this weird cultural thing that says Everyone at the table has to get their food
No,
at
that's
once.
not what I meant.
Oh, okay.
I meant there's probably a weird company policy regarding how takeout orders are treated. Because a bad takeout order, you go, whatever. A bad sitting in order, a late sitting in order, hurts reviews.
Yeah, I know. I doubt it. I just think it's a question of American restaurants have a policy that everyone gets their food at once. It's dumb. Don't do it. It's a bad policy.
It really is. That's how you open the... Okay, I figured out how to open the kettle
Okay.
without tearing any. So, the flap on the back is sealed shut for some reason.
Yeah.
But if you pull it back, you can grab it here and grab it on the other side and just nicely pull it open. Because that's how these bags are designed.
You know, damage ratio skill is kind of.
Yeah. It's a once per battle, but it goes up to like 300 by the end of the game.
That's really broken. It's cool. It just means, you know, a lot of early chain damage for sure.
Here's the map. And you know, the earlier the better, right? Because more arcs will have high damage ratios.
Exactly.
I love the Tumblr post where somebody just how I start sleeping. It's them sleeping with a ton of blankets on, like a ton. How I end up, and it's them sitting up, labeled still asleep. And one of the comments is like, maybe it's all the blankets. Maybe the reason that you sit up in your sleep is because your body is like, oh, we're being crushed.
Exactly. Yeah, maybe it's the blankets. Maybe there's a causal relationship between the first and second pictures.
What?
Maybe there's a causal relationship between the pictures.
Yeah. Use all the blankets.
I didn't level from that one.
Decent, right?
It was an overkill,
Yeah,
but
I don't.
level.
I think I was a little lucky to have the particular novel I read, like some school assignment being a novel I read,
Sidewinder!
even though I didn't actually I was told to read it, and then I was never given the resources to write a report on it.
Really? Okay.
But it's still a good thing that I read the full sex book.
Uh huh. You never actually.
Because it told me about things that I didn't know about.
I didn't realize you never wrote a report on it. Oof.
They never fucking gave me the resources on what they wanted the report to be or anything. They never even told me that there was supposed to be a report.
Weird. It was one of those you didn't get the. Yeah, it was dumb. Whatever. That school had some executive functioning problems, and they expected the students to make up for it.
I had to transfer. I think I had to transfer out of one of my classes into a lower level version of the class partway through,
Yeah,
because I would have failed the course if it only because
of the work that was supposed to be done over the summer.
of the work that was supposed to be done over the summer, which I wasn't given the resources for.
Yeah, I know, it was so dumb. It was your history class, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
But I'm glad you read it. And
It was worth the read. No, history was a completely different assignment I was never told about.
yeah, it was so dumb. Like you walked into a class failing, and it was like, why are you even doing that? Like, let summer be summer, guys. So dumb.
This goes here, that goes there.
Yeah, I'm so glad that Frederick High doesn't do that whole summer assignment BS. It was the dumbest thing that Silver Creek did. Literally the dumbest thing. Like, what are you guys doing? Assigning like 6 books that you have to read over the summer.
Oh, and then there was, don't forget the expectation that literally everybody has a capstone project.
Yes, right?
God, that school.
That school is so.
Is this?
I'm kind of glad you're not at Silver Creek.
Silver Creek,
They had some really.
if you have any executive functioning problems, Silver Creek fucking hates you.
It's really.
We need an IT, and we should do that with the IT.
Yeah, I know. They don't.
So I was complaining. Hello. When I went to start school, turns out I was expected to have read and written a report on my first year of school, and they transferred in from a different school.
Girl with the gall.
I was expected to have read a book and written a report on it,
And they didn't tell her what she needed to write
or anything, or how I would turn it in, right? So I walked in, and this time the teachers are like, "Fine, you came in from across the district.
Right.
We'll ignore it."
Mm-hmm.
Great. That was taken care of. Right? Fast forward like 1 or 2 years, history class. I walk in, and everybody's like, "Alright, take out your summer assignment." And I'm like,
What?
"My what?"
Yeah, exactly. It was so dumb.
Yeah, he expected. Oh, I had you guys all last year. Totally.
I'm
So-
well, turns out you were supposed to retrieve your summer assignment from a one-day meeting in the auditorium for literally every summer assignment that the school assigns. That I just never knew existed and never knew I needed to go to for the particular class.
I don't think I'm listening to this.
I thought I
And
was
so I
unstoppable.
walked into that class failing,
Right.
and I
it
got
was like-
transferred into a lower level course where I kept my grade minus the failing piece that came from
the other class.
the summer class.
It was so dumb. Like, genuinely bad. Like, just receive. And it what?
Oh, and then
Oh yes,
then,
all of our high school students should be college level students.
and then
Yeah.
there was the expectation that I kept pushing for every senior. Hey, have you got an idea for your capstone project? And I'm like, I'm not gonna do a capstone project.
Right.
Have you got an idea
That's
for
a
your capstone?
college.
No.
That's a college thing. Capstone. You can only capstone in college, and they can't believe that they thought that they could get high school kids to capstone.
I know.
Like that's a college thing.
Well, Silver Creek kids are. Silver Creek is the best school in the district.
No, Silver Shades is the most high achieving school in the district. there is a gargantuan difference between
According
best
to
and high achieving.
higher colleges, best school, high achieving.
Achieving.
They mark how high achieving it is.
Yes.
Right. But don't
means
don't
that
dare
Silver
use the
Creek-
word best.
Silver Creek is set up specifically to please College Board.
Yep.
And
And the cap
Not even please colleges.
No, it's
please
College
College Board.
and really like the capstone, like this whole concept of the capstone thing, is just
It gives you credit in College Board.
I know. That's because College Board love capstones because capstones are like
So monsters even
just
fight
work.
among themselves.
just a job. That's all it is. A capstone, this goes with something I was saying in the stream last night after you guys went to bed or whatever. So much of the U.S. education system is how do we turn people into good little workers,
Oh,
good
that's
little
a
worker
rainbow.
bees, and capstone is part of that.
Honestly, I love that the college I got into,
Here we go.
I didn't get into it with any College Board involvement.
Nope, not at all. College Board is
Because-
it's not just workers; those are like middle manager, executive type workers.
Yeah. College Board is awful.
Yeah.
I think, yeah. And Frederick, workforce love rooms.
I think I just found a place with special mushrooms.
Because according to
I don't even remember this from my last playthrough.
Oh my... Dad,
But
where in the world are you right now?
and
In-game.
are those the mushrooms?
Those are the mushrooms!
Holy shit!
what?
In Xenoblade 2, in the camp for the mercenaries, this cave with the mushrooms. There was a whole plot about it, about this little mushroom camp where there was this like evil Napon who wanted to like sabotage the
Oh yeah.
because he wanted those mushrooms.
I remember watching you do that quest.
And the funniest thing about the Napon is once all the mercenaries figured it out, they're like, what? You want the mushroom cave? And he's like, yes, I want the mushroom cave. And they're like, we don't want the mushroom cave.
It's a common item. It doesn't even have a description.
But I just think it's so funny because he's like, and I did this for access to the mushroom cave. And one of the mercenaries is like, none of us care about the mushroom cave.
Like,
If you wanted the mushroom cave, you could have walked in and said, hey, there's a mushroom cave here, can I have it? And we would have said,
sure,
sure, we'll get rid of the
guess.
mines for you.
Don't
Yeah.
not one.
So it's that.
And Nappa was assuming that the mercenaries were going to be really brutal. And even after the whole betrayal thing, we were just like, fine, stay in the mushroom cave. We don't care. Just stay out
I
of
don't think he wanted the mushrooms. I think he wanted the mushroom cake.
No, he wanted the mushrooms because they're tasty. Because Napon prioritized different things than
This particular Nappa was is like an adversarial person.
yes, like he was an actual like
Yeah,
I'm going to
you can't
take down
always
this
give 100%.
organization so that nobody's in the way of my mushroom patch.
And the funniest thing is if he literally just walked in and said, there's mushrooms in that cave, it would have been like, oh, cool, do you want the
Do you
mushrooms?
want those like a little Napon frag?
It's like, yeah, I do want the mushrooms. Like, cool, you can have them. Hell, pay us a little, we'll get rid of the vines.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
You know?
I knew he was sabotaging. I didn't know he was sabotaging over his mushrooms.
Yeah, it was that cave. Yeah.
It was mushroom cave. It's just so funny because the mercenaries were like, dude, you could have just given us a little money. We would have cleared the vines and just let you have them.
Can't forget our progress update.
Because the government
Let's keep things
mercenaries
on
are
a
very, very business spoken. You know,
Yeah,
they're
well,
not
it's
just like any mercenary.
Yeah, they're literally just mercenaries.
Brigands or whatever. No, they're
Right.
mercenaries. You
They,
pay them.
they do
you
they
pay
do
them,
work for money.
They do work for money. And you can walk in You tell them, you're sitting on top of resources, I'll pay you for access to them. And they'll say, alright, that's a fair trade.
Can we survive this fall, or is this going to be a it's magical water? We'll survive.
Nopon clearly had the money and resources to just pay the Garfront mercenaries for access to the cave.
Okay, now I have to go beat up a seal. An otter.
This one's got character. Shall we tell you?
Frolicking Parker.
Sorry, Frolicking Parker.
You actually have to beat up Frolicking Parker to upgrade one of the gems.
Oh, really? Oh, goodness.
There's a rare drop version of one of the ultra drops, and the only way to get it is by fighting otters in Cadencia, or by fighting this guy. He drops him on, he does a 100% drop on him. But the only way to get it is by beating this guy up, or by beating one of the Cadencia.
Cute little creatures. They torture you in this game and make you ask a question about whether you're actually the good guys. No, it's like, you're the super villain, Tom.
Yeah, but at the same time, you know, the auger will try to attack and kill you if you pass by it at its level.
It has a grudge.
It's don't you for a second think augers are innocent creatures.
Yeah,
they look cute.
They are vicious creatures. We're not going to get into otter behavior on stream because it's not. Yeah, I think I go NC-17 if we talk about how awful otters can be.
But no, it's otters are actually they look cute. Don't be fooled.
Let's see. I'm dazed. I think I want to dance with whatever. This is an influence here.
Don't be fooled. They only look.
You're in for it now.
You know, reactivate it yourself. That's the ideal configuration.
Yep. If you've actually had any involvement with music, somebody saying, oh yeah, the stigma against bassists is because bassists are like that, makes perfect sense. You're like, yeah, people who play certain instruments are certain ways. That's just how it is.
Yeah. Honestly, the one bassist of this that was my friend didn't fit any of those stereotypes. He ran sound, he was super responsive.
He was a sound guy, not a bassist.
But
he also played bass. He played bass, but he was a sound guy, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was also the sound guy. He's the one that taught me to do sound. He also taught me. He taught me how to play bass. He taught me how to do sound. He was a cool dude. Yeah, he was super cool.
Also,
let's do
Either they're like really cool, or they're like, no, you mean pile of shit.
was opposed to real?
The one bassist I was friends with was a super cool guy. Really cool guy. Again, I wouldn't know how to run sound if it weren't for him. He taught me how to run sound.
Or they're like, can't get their life together.
Okay, this it's impossible to explain why it's good.
It's impossible to explain. It's so funny. I can't explain. Yeah, I know how it is.
Oh, my phone and headphones on the ground. I've seen that sword before.
Yeah, it's the Ashera has it, but it's also the Thanos sword. Like Ashera uses the Thanos sword.
Is it double bladed and everything?
Yeah, it's a double bladed laser sword.
Oh my god, you talked about it. I remember now.
Yeah.
Last place.
Yeah,
There's a music video for a song called English Calling.
I know the song. I'm a fan of that song.
Have you seen the music video?
No,
You need to watch the music video when you finish this, okay?
Okay, I didn't know there was music. I know that song. That song is fucking hilarious.
Have an intermission and like watch it.
We'll get music, but yeah, we'll have to do a intermission thing. But yeah, that song. I get a little Rick in this car.
Yes.
Yeah. I know that
have to watch
song.
the fucking music video.
Oh no. Okay. Sure. Yeah, I got it. No, I know the song. I
can't believe you haven't seen the music video.
No, I don't
You know
usually
it's-
watch videos. I don't usually watch.
Okay, the music video is it's more than a music video. It's a short film.
Oh man.
You know?
Okay.
It's just as short as the song.
Still. That's cool. Yeah, that's cool. Definitely cool. Yeah, I don't even remember the name of the group, but yeah, I discovered that song like 2 years ago. It's very good. I get music before they get popular because of the. So I don't think they'd ever play that on the radio station I listen to, but it gets me into the deep cut like new music world.
There is a GIF out there of that you have probably seen people use as a reaction. It's from that music.
It's from that music video.
We're unstoppable with you around.
Like we do a stream intermission and watch.
So what is this item? Can you remember the name? Is it the clambering stone, or this treasured bivalve?
It's the 2-star clambering stuff.
Oh,
Senna,
I'm the girl with the gall.
yeah. I'm just here to beat up otters. I was watching Omni, and she caught one of those otter Pokemon. The ones that have the little flotation balloons around them. And every time she catches a Pokemon, she lets a viewer at random name it. Just do like bang name, which is a contest, like a giveaway. She gives away the ability to name it, and I won. You want to know what I named the Jelly? And then the whole chat like exploded into PB&J Otter references, and she started singing the new song. It's cute.
I'm glad you were able to make a reference people recognize.
Well, I know what age I know her age, and I don't say this, but I'm like, oh yeah, I remember PB&J Otter. My children loved that show. Because all you guys are my kids' age. You didn't my older children. You didn't watch PB&J. That was Lunar and her.
Barely remember it.
It was mostly Lunar who watched PB&J.
I know Wiggles, Zaboomafoo, Wildcrat. I'm not gonna scream Dinosaur Train in the middle of the night.
PB&J was early kids Disney. It was kind of the golden era of the Disney.
I watched an episode of Little Einsteins and hated it.
Yeah, it was terrible. And Little Einsteins literally to me marked the end of good Disney content for little kids. Like it was the end. That was like okay.
And then there's that pirate show
Jump
that
Patrol.
I watched that got educated in.
But no, PB&J was one of those. Was one of those. Oh, another trick ruin.
Okay. Ooh, let's go.
Was one of those Canadian imports. It was one of the points where Disney wanted kids shows, but they didn't have any yet, and so they bought kids shows from Canada that were really good. I remember this. I don't know if I made it to this one. This trick cavern is a little
Cap of thinking. On.
What?
cap of thinking on. I don't know if I did this trick card. Oh shoot. This is a challenge.
Oh, my plumage is everywhere.
What's happening?
You want to keep rotating the right one. One more time.
Yeah, I think one more
And then
time.
the left one.
Yeah, and now I
And the
got
right
it.
one.
Yeah, there we go. Trick cards.
Halo
It's a
Trick
puzzle.
Hazards. I think you've done this one.
It's a puzzle. Yeah, I'm remembering it.
This one's got character.
I can train as
Shall we
quickly as
tango?
anyone.
We'll give them the fight of
Did it
their
literally
lives.
make a thinking cat reference? This
Yeah.
robot?
Yeah, it's made by a novel, so it's going to be a little different. The Nopon, no, the Nopon Sage, not the Nopon Earth Sage, the Nopon Sage. The Nopon Sage is also where
I really want you to send Tom to
I will. I actually
There's a Nopon Sage character in Kena who is absolutely hilarious.
So I actually made I'm not gonna say promise, but I made the statement in the stream earlier today that if I finish this game long before the DLC comes out, I will just do it. I think that's how I'm doing like that.
It's torn up. Then it has taken so much self-control for me not to spoil why the Nopon Sage in Kena is so fun.
I will play 12. Let me get through this game, and either after the DLC comes out and I play it on stream, or before, or in the gap between the DLCs, I will play Tutorial on stream because I will. Xenoblade fan. I can't keep having the oh yeah, I've played every Xenoblade game twice except for that one, except for the one that's like the best.
Was HDMI created to be like screw capture cards?
Yes, it was.
And then it turns out it's actually better to use HDMI capture card.
Well,
That,
it's complicated, but yes, in general.
HDMI wasn't created, right?
Yeah, the HDMI is an encoded format.
like HDMI capture cards are higher quality than the other ones.
Well, HDMI. It didn't have to be HDMI. It could have been just digital. But we didn't get just digital. We got HDMI. That's the thing.
How the capture cards are that big because HDMI. All HDMI did about capture cards is make them bigger. But
I'm
technically,
sure it's not because of the fucking lights.
I think it's 90%. But
It's covered in lights.
again, this is like a fourth generation capture card. But no, HDMI is digital. But what Gana gave the energy to the switch to digital was the promise. Oh yeah, not only is it digital, but it's encoded, so people can't like use their capture cards to, rip DVDs or whatever. Like, well, not only do they do it, but everybody switched to fucking streaming services. Like, it's one of those. The industry is really good at closing the barn door after the cows get out. Like, I'm sorry, like, just in time for us to stop DVD cracking or Blu-ray cracking, people stopped watching physical media completely and switched entirely to streaming services.
We don't
before.
fucking need physical media no more.
Right. So, that is how it is.
it's 2 hits and they hit so big.
Yeah, her class really has a cool team. Alright.
Do you think dogs pick up big sticks and bring them to you with the expectation that they throw it?
Yes,
Yes.
that's how we domesticated wolves.
But we're talking
Yeah, I know.
fucking ball.
They don't fully understand the size of the stick that we can throw. That's fine.
They're like, wow, we can throw sticks really far, so you should be able to
Try
throw a
this
big
one.
too.
Drags log over to you, drops it at your feet.
Do it, man, do it! the thing is with those big sticks, sometimes I'll, I could, but I'm gonna throw that. You're gonna jump at it, and you're gonna hit your head against it as it falls. I'm gonna have to take you home.
What was your story, Mom?
How humans domesticated dogs? Wolves would play with themselves with sticks, like fucking the stick.
I think I told you that story.
Well, let him tell the story. Maybe the viewers haven't heard it. Tell the story. What do you think? Okay. Never mind. Maybe the viewers have heard the story. I've heard the story, but I wouldn't mind hearing it again. I'm pretty sure you shared the story with me at one point. Yeah, Noah's field of expertise is stories about animals. We have to always give him the credit of it. We probably heard it from Noah. Noah's the one who got all the stories about creepy things and animals. That's how I see it.
Go ahead and tell us. Maybe there's something I didn't know about it, because I don't know much more than the fact that people played with stick with wolves.
Okay, so the dog would up the stick with his mouth, run after it, and have some people just like notice the dog's doing this, so they pick up the stick and run. The dog like runs and catches it and brings it back. Like, holy shit, you're good at throwing this.
Now you're better than me.
Stick with you because you can throw this stick.
Stick with you?
I'm your child. What do you expect?
So yeah, I know. I heard that they would also do it with phones.
Yes, anything that could throw.
Found this.
But wolves would like dogs will do it too when they're lonely. They'll just grab the stick and
Funny finding one here, huh?
they'll like throw their body.
Signet ring.
It's actually kind of funny seeing a dog do it because the dogs don't very good at throwing the stick with their mouth. So they'll pick up the stick and then they'll like wiggle their whole body and they'll like flap through the air as the stick.
One of my favorite genres
I better
of
not
like
lose
this
this.
is like wolves that are taken good care of in captivity. They're so big.
Yes.
Wolves are genuinely like really big and
Up to your chest, big.
like really big and really pretty when they're
When they're
not
not
full of
90.
Give me some of
infection.
that
Yes,
sweet
so they're
ether.
90%.
It's like the average
Good immune system.
the
Give me
average
some of that sweet
the
ether.
average wild wolf is like 10-20%
Give me some of that
parasite.
sweet ether.
Yeah, that. I was given that number. Watch this. After she gets it, no, she didn't do it. With her, she did. She did like.
Maybe she doesn't when she gets a certain amount.
Give me
Yeah.
some of that sweet ether.
Meaning Senna is a blast. Her voice lines are so exuberant and wonderful.
Yes, I would like to watch the video.
I know. I watched the video. Okay, fine. We will do a. I don't even know that I have any. I don't know if there's anybody here right now. We'll watch the video. Just let me save. We'll go on intermission because I don't want
Can't
to get
forget our
ended.
progress update.
Go on intermission. It'll just take me a second.
Hooking up audio is gonna suck, isn't it?
Do you have the splitter attached?
I will just put it on my phone. Send me the link to my phone.
Okay.
Just do that. And just a minute. Just a minute. We'll watch a video and hopefully we'll go back